This is a campaign story which kind of started here with us and took us to the streets of Bollywood and Bombay. It was a night campaign that lasted about 6 months. And really, the story starts with Nissan coming to us in London, telling us about the challenge of taking an unconventional route to market in India. They had been in the market for a while, but really what they wanted to do was take an alternative approach to announcing the brand in the country. So India is, that's a good representation of the country as well as what the car market is. It's like organized chaos, as they like to call it. It is, ever since the country opened up in the 90s, there's been a flood of global products and services trying to be sold in the country, and that's even true in the automotive market. There's huge spenders like Volkswagen and Ford, and everyone trying to get to the market. And it's really a race to the top. Whoever spends the most gets most eyeballs. And Nissan had just recently launched, and they had one car in the market, the Micra, which had moderate success when we started.
Like Simon said, it's a really cluttered market, and every ad break could have up to 5, 6 automotive ads. So we really realized that in order to reach our objectives, we had to take an unconventional approach to engage our audience. We can't compete with these major players and try to outspend them on media. So we looked at how can we, this is a story about how we could actually reach our audience and raise the awareness of that link between Micra and the innovation brand Nissan, and how we could build advocacy within our audience and word of mouth. It's really important in a market like India's to build word of mouth, because the brand loyalty is really weak, because they're all quite new to these new brands coming in. But it's also about growing a community with these guys. So how can we build a long-term relationship? So that was at the heart of what we wanted to achieve, and this how we did it.
So firstly, the target audience, Indian youth, and they are mostly in their 20s, and it was a fit. And the thing about India, it's an interesting place, good juxtaposition at this point. Traditional culture, traditional things are fake, like Bollywood and cricket continue to dominate the culture, if you will. But equally, we've embraced new media, social media, mobile, all growing rapidly. So
and a really important insight that we found was that even though these guys are hugely social, they're also extremely competitive. And status stories and symbols like cars, or status stories like being invited somewhere is a really important part in sort of establishing yourself as the alpha male within the group, within your peer group. There's no real brand doing this with these guys. Can Nissan become the facilitator of bragging rights for our target audience?
We are a massive asset. This is Ranbir Kapoor, India's Brad Pitt. He is one of the biggest acting dynasties in the country, and he signed on as Nissan's brand ambassador by the time we started the campaign. So naturally, it was a great asset for us to build on, and particularly among an audience who were prone to be influenced and who looked up to someone like Ranbir. What I'm about to show you is a quick video of how we painted the vision to the client when we first sold the idea.
सुनो एक थी कांच की गुड़िया, सुनो एक थी प्यार की गुड़िया, सदके उस प्यार के। सुनो एक था पिंड दा शेरा, आया कस के बांध वो सहरा, सदके उस यार के। सजती डोली वो चढ़ा था घोड़ी वो, खोया जाने का इतना सोना प्यार बलिए।
months of discussion after this, talking about whether we could do it or not. And once we had the final go-ahead, that left us about 8 weeks to actually execute this. Which was great. So I'm going to take you through the process of how we actually approached this. And first, I'm going to talk about how we grew the community. As Neil said, Nissan wasn't really established in this market. And we knew that Facebook was growing and growing really rapidly, but in a huge country like India, they had about a footprint of 2 or 3 million people. But they were really big within our target audience. We knew that this is where we need to grow the community. But as people weren't on Facebook, we couldn't take that conventional approach of actually advertising and getting people to join the page because people weren't there yet. So we needed to see how not only we could get people to the page, but how we can actually get people to Facebook faster. And we had this great asset in Brand Kapoor. He's huge, he's really up and coming, he is the new star of India. And we looked at how can we leverage him to create buzz, because that was the first thing. So we created a teaser video where he asked his audience if they could come and audition for him online. And we seeded this through influencers and PR. And that created massive amounts of coverage. But we also used both traditional and digital media to actually amplify this. So we had coverage in TV, press, on radio, and also online ads. But then we really needed to sort of reel people in, and that's when we used really hard-working Facebook media and digital media to drive people to the platform. It was so successful that at the height and the peak of the campaign, we had more than 30,000 people join the page every day.
Right, so it's all well and good telling people come and start with me and Facebook is open, but we realized most people would follow the first hurdles. Not many people have webcams at home. So we had to take the contest on the road. We had these experiential events across the country, and we also took it to dealerships, and the response. I mean, I was at the shopping malls and people just coming in there and dancing. They're all really good. So we got more than 1,000 entries from these auditions.
Of course, Facebook was at the heart of it, and even though we integrated everywhere, everything needs to come back. So auditions from everywhere landed in our Facebook app that we created for this, which hosted thousands of videos that people uploaded, where of course people could also look at and vote on all these entries. But we realized that the way we manage communities here is not maybe the same as over in India. So, and also as we're an emerging, we're a new brand in this market, we had to make sure that what we were doing here was also being done there, because the community management was actually run within that local market. So we had 5 community managers looking after the page. So what we did was that we developed a community management and governance framework, and actually flew over there and ran workshops with them to make sure that whatever we wanted to communicate from London was also communicated from that local team in the same voice, in the same tone, and following all the governance guidelines that we had set up for this brand in the Indian market.
And then, of course, the big moment when the filming actually happened. We had the 20 co-stars arrived from all across the country, and for us as well, to finally see them from behind the Facebook page and in reality. And we filmed in India's biggest film studios, partly the world's biggest as well. And it was a massive production with about 5 or 6 different companies and over 1,000 people. We even had an elephant, obviously, in the filming. But it was not just about the scale.
Exactly, it was a huge production, but it was all the way down to the detail this was done. So we actually had people could continue to actually engage with the campaign. We had pictures being painted throughout the set, everywhere. You can see how they're featured on the magazine. Everywhere in the set, you could find your profile picture. And that was a way for us to actually keep on engaging, because after we shot this big thing, we had 8 weeks of post-production before we could actually launch the film. And how could we maintain that? We let people actually be part of post-production. How could they help steer the music? How could they help with the names, come up with the names for the characters? And also how could we make crucial decisions about how we shape this final production? And through doing that, we actually maintained engagement levels throughout this quite boring period. We got some really good numbers from this. We had 32 million social impressions from fans all across India. In 3 months, we managed to grow from 200 fans, which was the Indian Facebook page, to 500,000. We had 2,300 audition entries, 1,000 test drives. And I think what was really nice is that as Facebook grew in India, it actually had a global impact. So we looked at the global page as well. We could see this effect bleeding out into those local pages. Yeah.
But it was not just about these numbers, right? It was the fact that Nissan enabled 20 kids from across the country, realize their dreams of acting with a Bollywood star, and not just meeting him or having coffee with him or taking a picture with him, but actually sharing the set with him and going through the whole experience of what it's like. And that is a great story. In fact, we even had Bollywood fans from America and from Canada trying to enter, but we couldn't let them. So that's us, but we're going to end with showing you the film. It's like every Bollywood film. It's gone slightly longer. It's about 4 minutes, but I hope you like it.
Come on, you're living. I told you Kunal can never be part of my family.
You will never see that man again. Give me that.
nice about this as well was that from being an unknown brand, we left them with a brand platform that they can actually continue to use, and also, of course, brand assets they can use in traditional media channels, which was, of course, a good bonus to those numbers which you got. So that was the new Star Media.